Homemade holiday decor is my favorite. Hello, May Flaum here, and today I'm going to walk you through a customized pillowcase featuring the ScanNCut, of course. So for this project, you're going to want a couple different things. And what I'm showing you here, I did make some sketches. So I had a rough idea of what I wanted to work on before I started pulling supplies. I have some heat transfer vinyl. I have some felt that the back is treated with iron-on material so that I can just easily iron that on. And then, of course, for my pillowcase, you could work with a ready-made. In my case, I have a piece of fabric that the two ends are stitched, and then I'll stitch the other two ends when we're all done. We'll circle back to that. First of all, I am on the Brother ScanNCut Type Converter tool, and you can see here my font overlaps. I just am making note of this and saving it to a USB drive before I transfer it. Once we get here onto the ScanNCut, there we go, putting it in. I am going to have to weld that pattern together so that it is not a problem. Now, if you don't want to weld it together, if you want to pull your font from another source, perhaps you have word art ready-made or you want to scan something in, of course, that's fine. So you can see here, I've brought in Mary and I've selected all of the letters, and now I'm going in to press the weld button. And it's going to warn me that it's going to be permanent, and we're good with that. This is what we want. This welds it not only into one solid word, but it gets rid of the extra lines that we don't need. So quick, so super easy. And you can zoom in and double check your work to make sure everything looks right before you carry on. Once you are satisfied with this, we're going to go and pull in the B. And to do that, we're just going to go to Add, Retrieve Data, and there it's going to be right at the front because I like to label those what they actually are. And when we pull this in, we're going to repeat. We're going to go into Edit. We're going to select the items, and we are also going to weld them together. So with this done, we can now size things if we want. But first, what I do before I go any further, whenever working on heat transfer vinyl, go into Edit, Object Edit, and push the button with the two arrows. This is going to reverse it so that when we cut, it will be faced in the appropriate direction. From here, you can resize if you would like. You can change direction if you would like. Basically, any edits that you need. Now, I am also going to go ahead and pull in another design. There's a built-in holly pattern on my ScanNCut DX that I really like. And what I love about these patterns is you pick what size it is initially, and then you just pull the pieces, however many you would like, however many, whether it's leaves or the berries or whatever part of the pattern, however much or little you want, you can do. So I am just pulling in some leaves as well as some holly berries because I'm going to be cutting out of both green and red heat transfer vinyl. So I organize everything, all the green in one corner and all the red in one corner, then get my material. You're going to want the transfer sheet down. So that is my red. It has a gray backing. And there is my green going down. You want to place those nice and firmly, smooth out any bubbles, and then load this into your ScanNCut. Once this is loaded, we're going to go ahead and scan it. So we're going to push that little blue button and scan. This is a great feature because it lets us see exactly where the material is, as well as confirm that we like the placement of all of our pieces. If we don't, we just adjust it until we're happy with everything. Once we're happy, we go to Cut and then push the little tool button and change the half cut to on. Since we are cutting vinyl, we only want it to cut halfway through. And then we're going to weed or remove all the pieces of vinyl that we don't want to cut, leaving just our pattern. With that done, we move on to our felt. We're going to have it iron-on side down. And I already know, because I did that sketch that I showed you at the beginning of the video, exactly that I want a heart, that I want it to be 8 inches because I'm working on a 10-inch pillow. I know exactly what I want. So I'm just going in here to cut this simple shape because I want this heart to be the base for our design. I think it's going to look really nice on this cream felt, and about 7 3/4 inches. Size-wise will depend on the pillow. Now you'll notice my scan material is still showing up, but I didn't rescan it. That's because I know I have a full sheet of felt, so I'm not concerned about that. We're going to cut, but first, have to turn that half cut off because we want the felt to cut all the way through. With everything cut out, you're ready to assemble. So before I assemble, I do like to pull everything out and take a look at it. Do I like how it looks? Is the sizing good? How do I want things arranged? I just like to get a sense of how things are going to work before I go any further. If anything does not work, I can always go in and redo things or take things out, add more, whatever I might need to do. Once I am happy with it, everything, the first thing I'm going to do is iron that heart onto the front center of my pillowcase. And then I'm going to do machine stitching. Stitching is optional. I'm just getting a decorative stitch going here on my machine and going around the edge. I just think this will add a nice contrast and texture to our project. Next up is our vinyl. I like to work big to small, so I'm picking out my words and transferring them with an iron. You want to put a little bit of cloth down, then press with the iron, lift, and then you'll check by, you see how I'm lifting here and the transfer sheets are coming off smoothly? That's how you know it's transferred well. If for some reason the material is not sticking to the fabric or lifting up, you just need to iron it again. And here again, we repeat with the holly leaves. Super easy to do and such great results. I just love how this works. Now, once we're done with that, I'm going to add some buttons to this because I think a bit of texture is fun. And because I'm making my own pillowcase, that means that I can go ahead and stitch buttons or do other things just working on flat fabric. So I'm not contending with folded fabric or pre-stitched fabric, although you can make this work with a ready-made pillowcase as well. And this is going to obviously be a very decorative pillow, so this can be as lumpy and fun as I want it to be. You can stitch with the knot on the front or the back. That's totally personal preference, whatever you like better. And you can add as many or as few decorations as you would like. Once you are all the way done with your stitching, it's going to be time to finish your pillowcase. These projects are so easy. All you're going to do, you can see, I just stitched both edges to be 10 inches, then trimmed off the excess. Now I'm just flipping it right side out. So easy. Now I wait here and I just double check. If for some reason you didn't like anything or anything was crooked, you could go back and undo your stitches, redo the stitch and go. But as you can see here, I just love the results. I think this turned out so great and it would make a wonderful holiday gift or a way to customize decor in your own home. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Be sure to subscribe and of course, check out all of Brother's great videos and tutorials with your ScanNCut.